This conference will now be recorded.
Hello friend, welcome to phpsolutions.com. My name is Amit Sharma and today I am going to show you how to write business rule for HR allocation. We are going to write this business rule for Oracle Hyperion planning. I'll be using on-prem vision application. So before we write the business rule, I like to show you the requirement in Excel sheet and then the same I show you into Hyperion planning, and eventually we write the business rule and test the output. So let's get started. So my requirement is fairly straightforward. In this Excel sheet, if you see, there are two segments I have. The one segment talk about various kind of operating expenses. These are various operating expenses. Example, car rental, airfare, shipping, accommodation. The one which I marked as the gray color, it's parent member, because in Excel I cannot show you, the parent-child relationship very in detailed manner. Therefore, I shown over here as parent member as a gray color. So this is my total T&E expenses and existing depreciation and overall your operating expense before allocation. In the second part of this Excel, I shown various department and the head count, and this total budget would be allocated to all the department across all the departments subject to the head count. So head count in this case is working as a driver based planning. It's a driver, and according to the head count, this budget would be allocated to all the children. In this case, the way we are going to allocate this budget to all the children or various department based on the head count, this is the formula given over here. So total expense divided total head count multiply by the head count for the specific department. This way we can allocate a total budget value to the specific department based upon the head count, and there's a formula. So for example, you see over here 149055, you get this value by taking total budget divided by total head count multiply by number of head counts. This is the value you get. It is rounding off, therefore it displays 149055. So this is what we want to achieve in Hyperion planning. Let me show you how it works. We compare our output. I render into Hyperion planning with Excel, and both outputs should be identical. Before I write a business rule, I show you how it works. So in this example, I'll make some change into Excel sheet. The same change I do into planning, and my output in Excel and planning should be identical. So let's take this international sales. Right now there are 5 head count. I'm going to change this 5 head count to 3. First I do it in Excel. International sales, I already marked with green color. I make it 3. So make it 3. The output I get is 1. It's 89433. 89433. You can calculate on your own as well. Total budget divided by head count multiply total head count multiply by head count for the specific department. 849,89432. Right. So the output which I get into Excel sheet, the same output I should get into planning. Let me make it to 3, and then I run the business rule. So business rule you can invoke from multiple ways. I'm going to invoke this business rule explicitly under tools, business rule. I've already created a business rule called custom allocation. Next to this, I'm going to show you how to write business rule. So it entails how business rule is going to execute this allocation process. So I have a custom allocation business rule. I click on this and invoke this business rule. Once is rendered, the output which we receive into planning should be same as the output we receive into Excel sheet. So 89433, this is our output for international sales. 89433. It means the business logic you planned, it working as expected. Now let's write this business rule. So in order to write business rule, the best way I take a snapshot of it and we try to understand how it is going to be calculated. In this scenario, let me take a snapshot and place over here. We wanted this intersection, total HR administration expenses and operating expense before allocation, this value. Okay, I need to take a snapshot again because I did not see total department headcount. Let's take a snapshot again. We wanted this value to be divided by total departments multiply the head count for the respective department. Head count for the respective department, right? This is what we want. Because the department is changing, therefore you can use a relative function for the department. Okay, let's write the rule for the same. So in order to write the rule, let's open the rule editor. Uh, your rule editor called calculation manager, and there I'm going to write a rule. I wanted this rule to be executed for a specific year and specific scenario, specific version. Therefore, I put this rule within my fixed expression. So click on vision, select, this is for plan 1, right click, create new rule, name it. I call this rule called HR allocation version 1. This is going to be for planning application, vision application, plan 1. It is up to you. You can use the designer mode or script mode, whichever you like. I'll show you how to use designer mode today, and then subsequent example I show you how to use script. So I drag and drop member range over here. The reason I use member range because I wanted the whole expression to be calculated for the specific intersection. So I use a fixed expression, which is your member range. In member range, I define, let me make it expanded. You define this is for which account, which period, which scenario. Therefore, you have taken a snapshot of it, and we would be selecting all the intersection based on this snapshot. So my scenario is planned, version is working version, year is FY14. Let's do this. So period is also written, but it got we did not get a complete snapshot. Okay, period is not visible, so I'll use it for across all year. So go to your intersection, calculation manager, under period, select, you have option to select member, variable and function. I'm going to use member name, and I execute this for all label 0 member of my year total, which consists of year, quarter, month, right? I wanted this rule to be executed for year total. So I use year and descendants, I descendant of year. In turn, I select, sorry, this was period. So all the period total, I descendant of year total. So it will execute for year, quarter, and month. In this example, I use year as fixed value. However, you can use variable as well. So this whole expression is going to be executed for year FY14. This you can confirm by looking at the intersection. So this year is being used for FY14. Then I use a scenario over here. Scenario, we have plan and version is working version. So let me select scenario as member, which is plan, and version is working version. And this is for no product. This is not specific to the product, so I limit it for no product, which is P underscore 000 in this case. So this is my fixed expression. You can save and switch from designer mode to edit mode to script mode. I want this whole calculation to be taken place for all department, level 0 departments. So I drag and drop another member range. It is going to be nested fixed expression. And in this case, my entity is going to be level 0 of total departments. If you take a snapshot, you can figure out easily. These are my level 0 member of different departments. The level 0 for different department. It's a children of total department, right? TD. So I'll do the same thing. I go to entity, select member, and I use a relative function over here. Total department relative to 0. Relative 0 for total department. So it will execute for the respective department. This way you can define a context, right? Next, you're going to write a formula over here. So in the formula, the left hand side of the formula, if you look at carefully, the output is going to be stored in allocation administrative expenses. But you don't see the full name out of it. So you can switch back to this. This is the output is going to be stored under allocation administrative, right? So I'll say the same, uh, allocation administrative as my target. Under conditions like this member name, if you know the member location you can do it, or you can search allocation administrative. This is the member. This is going to be my target. What is my source? The source is going to be intersection of uh, take a snapshot 810 intersection of operating expense before allocation divide by, so I do the same, double quote 810 intersection with, we use this operator, arrow operator, opex. Make sure you write the same way, opex, opex, e capital, before allocation. Divide by total headcount. Total headcount is intersection of TD and 9000. So 9000 intersection with TD multiply by head count for the respective department. So I use head count 9000. Once you make these changes, make sure you save it and validate this.
This
Let me validate.
conference will now be recorded.
So OPEX before allocation, it has an error. Actually, it allocations, it is S. Let's save and validate once again. So it has no error. Once you say save your code and validate, I'm going to deploy it. So you can switch from system mode to deployment mode, and before deploy it appears under to be deployed. So you see there are two folders, deployed and to be deployed. You can see your code over here, version 1, HR expenses. This is to be deployed. Click on this, and all the member you want to deploy, right click and deploy. Deployment done successfully. The last step is to validate, and deploy is done. The last step is to associate this business rule in the data form and test it. So one way you can associate by creating menu. I already taught you in the previous session how to do this. Alternatively, you can invoke this directly. So what I do, I'm going to make the changes for sales Southeast 3 to 4, and my output, the output which I get in Excel should be same as I get an output over here. So sales Southeast is 4 now. Let me do the same in Excel. Sales Southeast is 4 now. So I should be getting 119244. This should be my output. So let me save this, write back this data, and then I'm going to execute my rule, right? And the output should be 119244. Under tool, business rule. If you don't see the business rule, probably you can refresh it. Sometimes it does not appear, or you can limit it for plan 1, HR allocation 1. This is your business rule. Select this and run it. If everything is good, we get the output. And finally, let's check the output into our data form. So I get southeast was 4, 119244, 119244. The output which I get into Hyperion planning is same as I get the output to Excel sheet. It means my business rule which I have written is functionally correct and syntactically also correct. So that's it. This is how you can write custom allocation rule by using business rule. That's it for today. Should you have any question, please feel free to write to us www.bhpsolutions.com. Thank you.